now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. All right. Shabbat shalom, Yashara. So,
well, shalom, Israel. Shalom, Israel. How's everyone?
All right. So we got about 2 people on. We're gonna go ahead and get started. This is not gonna be a long lesson. Basically, we wanted to keep our word. We said that we're gonna do a each month on the first day of each calendar month. So today is the second day, so it's close enough. So we wanted just to go over some things with y'all, just touch over some basic stuff concerning the calendar. So I'm gonna pull it up right here. So just for those of you who have not seen the calendar class on the first month, just make sure after the video, when you get a chance, just go back and you can check this out. It's there. It's about a little bit over 2 hours long. It's on my channel. It's also on Aton's channel, and it's on the Mind of the Brotherhood channel. So it's there. So just go back and check it out and everything. Read over it. So what we're gonna do is just talk about the second month of Ziph. All right, and we explained in the first lesson how to read the calendar. So we'll read the color legend again, so that you can see, how to read the calendar and everything. So when you look to your far left, your right, and you look towards the middle where you see color legend. All right, so the way you read the calendar, we wanted to make it as simple as possible so that, you all can really read this and not confused. We will get to a point maybe some years down the road where we'll take out the Gregorian calendar and just, we'll just use the original Hebrew days, like, for example, the first of the second month or the third of the second month and so forth.
Right.
All right, so
I also want to add
go ahead.
That Israel, these calendars, like as you see from the first month, the bottom, as you see the legends, how you see here in the notes, and like some of them are going to be on there every single month. They don't change. So, so that's just something that we just wanted to put on there as we wanted you guys to keep that, through your mental throughout the month, that some of the notes on the calendar, they don't change, such as, so you understand how the months have started, and how many days are in each month, as far as the new moon and how to celebrate it, saying things of that nature.
Right. And we did it that way so it can be repetitious. So that way, because, the only way that we're going to get these scriptures, the only way that we're going to get back to these laws is we have to be constant. We have to be repetitious with it. Keep repeating. Just like practicing the righteous acts. The only way that you're going to get good at something is that you have to keep practicing it, right? If you don't practice it, you're not gonna understand it. You're not gonna know it and everything. And that's the problem with a lot of my people. They waking up in this truth and they get excited and everything, but they don't want to keep the laws. Either they want a quick fix, or they just want to be delivered, but they're not even concerned. And we gotta, it's not. It ain't like what you think it is. We got to get that work. We're gonna have to really put in the work and really study. And brothers, this can take a long time. And this could be a work of a lifetime.
And that's the same thing I tell my students, right? Yeah. I tell my students that if they want, let's say for example, I give them the same example that if you want to be a good spaghetti eater, you have to eat spaghetti. The same thing follows with these laws, statutes, and commandments. If you want to be a honorable, righteous brother and sister when it comes to keeping these commandments, you're going to have to, stay and study these things daily, repetition, so they stay on your mind. Just, even now, right? Brother Daniel and I, even though we've been in the scriptures for I don't know how long and studying, we still daily converse about the scriptures, about things that, that we always know, and then things that come up again. You know what I mean? Because, brother Daniel and I, we have, after next week's lesson, we're going to do a little series on the book of Judges for you guys. It's going to be a real exciting series, some stuff that I'm pretty sure you guys haven't noticed. But, it just goes to show that no matter how many times you read these scriptures, that through repetition, you're going to get the same thing definitely locked down in your mind, but you even might find something new through the understanding of the same old thing through repetition.
You will, and you're going to come up on a higher level too. So let me give an example. Like this will be our third calendar. This is the third year for the calendar. And I'm going to tell you something. The amount of stuff that we have learned, because we refine the calendar, we refine it, and every year, we have the honor of refining it. And there's always something that we can add in there. And when I say add, I'm talking about precepts that confirms what's already here. And this is the reason why we work so hard to put the precepts in these calendars each month, so that you all can go and like, okay, let me print this out. I'm going to study each precept. And you can take a month. You don't have to really rush this thing, because take each month, like for example, the second month, we're at the beginning of the second month. Every day, go with some precepts. Go over it every day until you can really learn how to read it. It's so simple now to me and Eitan. The calendar is so simple, and I know a lot of you already get it too. But every now and then I still get people that email me and say that I can't understand the calendar. Well, if you truly just read the precepts, there's just no way that you cannot understand it. It's bam right there in your face. And so that tells me that if a person doesn't understand it, they just looking at the numbers, and that's it.
That's right. Because we before we put it out to the people, we made sure that we understood it fully and 100% before we gave something to y'all. That way, that we know that we're this is nothing folly. This is proven with precepts and scriptures, right? So and that's the most important thing. So just like for those that didn't happen to watch the first one, we start we always started the first month of Abib on the equinox, which is the equal amount of day and the equal amount of night. And those scriptures are found in the bottom right there. That's where you put that note on there, so you can understand how each month are started, why it starts on on this technically the third day of the week, and then so forth and so on, and how it just continues to repeat of a perfect 364-day cycle. So it's 52 weeks of perfect 7 days. If you're seeing anything other than that, it never said the Most High stopped in the middle of a week and they decided to start over the year.
Exactly.
Come on now. Really, that doesn't even make sense if you even break things down to its infinitesimal stature to even understand those kind of things. You're like, well, I got to make sure that everything makes sense, because it says that the Most High, he's not of confusion.
That's right.
And sometimes it may seem that these scriptures may be confusing, but that's because you had to just continue to study. It's just like in the beginning when you study you go from addition to subtraction to multiplication to algebra to geometry to trigonomics, and to calculus, right? And when you study in the math, at first, you're not going to understand it, but that's because you haven't studied hard enough. And it's just like these scriptures, right? But as you study harder and you begin to understand the concepts that are the scriptures, right? Because the scriptures are like math. 1 + 1 = 2, all the way from the beginning to the end. The Most High doesn't change, and neither does Hamashiach.
That's right, and that's very important too, to repeat that, because again, time after time, I see so many of our people. It's like, and they get excited, and I got it. And this truth is something to get excited about, especially when you're keeping the laws and commandments. But a lot of our people are so obsessed with deliverance, without they're so so obsessed with deliverance without keeping the commandments, and it's not going to work that way, brothers. We gotta really dig into this thing, because all this time that we have this grace period, this is the time to really dig in while we can, because things are getting ready to get crazy. So let's look at the color legend, and we'll just go over that. And so where it says the black numbers, upper left corner. So let me stop right there. So when you look at, for example, when you look at 1, and we already did the first month, but I'll just use the second month as an example. You know what? Let's go back to the first month right quick. Can you pull the first month up right quick?
Yeah, no problem.
Just to kind of give them a. There we go. So for the first month, the month of Abib, the first month would always start on the equinox, or right after the equinox, and then we count 14 days over from the equinox. That is the Passover, because according to the scripture, it is the beginning of the month. And so he says the 14 days at even on the first month. So that means that Shabbat sunset, and we happen to have a new moon on that day. And I also had the privilege of going down to where my brother was to celebrate the Passover. So that was a blessing.
God.
So just wanted to kind of just give you an idea. So when we start off the numbers, we start off according to scriptures. So right after equinox, not after the new moon, but right on the equinox or right after the equinox sunset, we start counting the days.
Con, and even if you notice, like on the heathen calendars, you know, they're the days that they say the equinox is, it'll pretty much always be on the same day. You know, we did the calculations according to the layout and the numbers, like how a flat earth would be labeled. You know what I'm saying? As far as, you know, the heathens, they try to trick you up, you know, with their numbers, you know what I'm saying, of saying the earth is round when it doesn't really make sense at all, even including the Pythagorean theory or whatnot. So you know, that's the way we pretty much did the numbers. And if you watch the, even you know, it's funny that even with the leap years and all the crazy stuff that these heathen put in their calendar, you'll see that they're always put their equinox right on or about a day or a day off for the same time that we put ours, you know, which is you know, a testament in itself, you know, just to show that, you know, at the right time, you know, the Most High is excellent in proving all his works.
That's right. And if you really want to just do a test, like if you just want to just dig down and research and like, hey, yeah, I don't want to take you guys' word for it, you can get you a sundial. I have one on the property, and that thing is so accurate. Every year around the spring equinox, bam, it's right there. And it's always around a Sunday. And Brother Aton mentioned about leap years and how the heathens do leap years. See, good thing about the Hebrew calendar and it being fixed, we would not be affected by the leap years because, let me see, next year the Passover will fall on the 1st of April. So it's gonna be kind of going back, but then it's like at 22, because I've already made the calculations. 2025 is when it's going to jump back. And when I say jump back, it's going to reset itself without us having to change a thing. So that means 2025 or 2026, then the Passover is going to be around the 13th or the 14th, but it's still going to be on the Shabbat.
God,
you see what I'm saying? Like, and that's how the Most High does. So that way, it doesn't keep going backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards. You know what I'm saying? Every so many years, it almost like it resets itself. But you don't even have to change the Hebrew days or anything on that.
It's like, you know, like when you do these calendars, like Brother Daniel and I, man, we map these calendars out for 30, 40, 50, 100 years into the future to see where they, you know, to see what the numbers change. And the numbers, they don't change.
They don't change.
It's always in the same season, at the same day, at the exact same time.
Now, the Gregorian calendar is the only thing that changes. It'll go back, and it's like every 10 years, it resets itself. And I find that very interesting because even with the heathens trying to mess up the calendar and everything, when you stick with the Hebrew calendar, it will not mess up. I mean, it's powerful. All right, so let's look at the color legend. It says the black numbers upper left corner on the calendar are the Hebrew days month. So we explained that in the first lesson, but hopefully we you know, once everybody kind of starts to get on board, you know, we're going to totally take out the Gregorian calendar. The only reason why we have the Gregorian calendar in there is that so that you can see, of course, we live by the Gregorian calendar. So when you see the Hebrew month, then you know what day the feast are, right? And that's how you know. So that's the only reason why we have the Gregorian calendar in there.
You know, you could label the heathen holidays on your Hebrew calendar. You could be like, well, I know that the heathens are gonna celebrate, Christmas on this day. So let me make sure I stay out the way with me and my family. I don't want to be caught up in that folly. You know what I'm saying? You know, like that's the things that you could label on your own calendar. You don't even necessarily even have to go by any of the heathen calendars at all. I mean, like at a real perspective, at a clear perspective, it really doesn't matter. You know, just as long as you know where, you know, what's happening over there with them, and you know, and you stay circumspect to what's going on around you. But we must. I mean, like, and this is the type of thinking that we need to come out of the situation that we're in. You know, I mean, like, we need to just really step away. You know, like, just like I always say, you know, man, we got these heathen, man, they came over here. They got a whole city called Chinatown, right? You know, how long have we been over here? You know, we've built America with our blood and bodies and sweat and tears, right? And you know, we don't have a pot to piss in damn near over here. right? And
They
they're
got
going
a
to tell us to pull us
they
up
got
by
a
bootstrap.
Chinatown. They got a German town, Mexican town.
Gone, right? And we can't even get ourselves together. And so, it just comes with, man, you can tell that we're the people of the book, because it's amazing how we just don't get it. We just don't get it. And I was talking to Brother Daniel about this the other day. I was like, man, I don't understand how the Israelites went off and they had the Most High, a Hamashiach right there in the midst of them, damn
And
near.
they seen the miracles. And they seen all the
Right.
miracles.
Yeah, they seen the miracles, the splitting of the sea, the destruction of the heathen, all the things going on the way to Israel. I mean, it was just, a pillar of fire by a pillar of fire by night, a cloud by day, you eating manna dropping from the heavens, all kinds of stuff. I mean,
Hey,
look,
look,
it was there.
they didn't look, what's so crazy? They didn't even have to go hunt.
Con,
They didn't even have to go hunt. The Most High brought food to them. Now,
quail. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. Like when our people don't even have to hunt for their food.
Yeah, man.
That
It's
should tell you.
just
That
amazing.
should tell you that this is why we should get excited about the feast days, y'all. Get excited about these laws, commandments, status. Get excited about wearing fringes.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just having a mind frame of us coming out of the ways of these heathen, like Jeremiah 10:2, it says that, we're not supposed to be celebrating no ways of the heathen, come out of the ways of the heathen, period. Right? So if we just start developing our own system, right, our own frame of mind, our own thoughts, because these thoughts are not our thoughts. These thoughts are the thoughts of the heathen, right? Running around celebrating 4th of July, but you was getting your back beat in 1776. That don't make sense. And our people be the biggest ones out there celebrating with the loudest shirts on, the whole flag. You get up, you know what I'm saying? And man, they got a pants and a doggone and the hoodie, the whole matching set. And it's just crazy.
Yep.
So,
all right, so let's look at this. So continuing with the color legend. The color days are as it would appear on the modern day calendar. Now, I put modern day calendar, of course, the Gregorian calendar. Right. We don't go off the modern day calendar. That's why we have the Hebrew days on there. And all our feast days are based off the Hebrew days, not the Gregorian calendar days. So that's very important to understand. And then the months are color coded by red and blue. So, for example, where the day, according to the modern day calendar, it's 20 April, right? So, but according to the Hebrew days, it's the second day of the second month. Tomorrow will be the third day of the second month. So I just want to put that out there so you don't get confused with the third day of the second month versus on the Gregorian calendar being the 21st of the month. Their system is totally whack, totally off.
All right. And
so, and I'm praying that one day we can get to a point where we're going to strip all these modern day numbers away, and only thing you're going to see on there is the Hebrew days. So that means when we start putting those calendars out, probably 3 years from now, that means that it's going to, on your end, it's going to require you to do some studying. So you're going to really have to pay attention and keep up with the days.
That's right. All right. We have over here, in the left legend, because we don't have any feast days this month. We only have one feast day, which is the new moon, which would be, it would start sundown Sunday, which would really be Monday. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it says the constellations, just as the constellations are set and fixed in their respective rotations, so are the feast days, right? And so, just to give an example real quick, right? Let me get a second. Let me share this of how Brother Daniel has let me share this real quick. Give me a second. Chrome tab.
Yeah, while he's putting that up, and the reason why this is so important to understand, so are the feast days. The rotations of the sun brings in the new year on the spring equinox. Now, the Bible is not going to say spring equinox. All right, you got to understand now, because a lot of people get confused with that. Well, where does it say equinox in the scriptures? When you use common sense, when is the only time where new birth begins? It's going to be around the March, April time frame. And so that's what everything is starting to birth and becoming born. We know that it's not going to be the winter equinox. We know that for sure.
That's right.
So it's going to always be the spring. So and that's when the sun begins its rotation again, and that's when the new equinox starts, and that's when we base the days off. You know, and the moon brings in the seasons, and we show that in Jasher. So you got the scriptures of it. We're not going to necessarily go through all the scriptures, but you have the scriptures to go through. All right.
All right. So you see, just like Brother Daniel was saying, just like we saw the stop just now, as we see it moving again, as you see, it's just nothing but the same circle over and over and over again, which is why it's wise to trust in the scriptures.
That's right.
And the word of the Most High instead of the word of these heathen, right? You see how that is? That right there is serious, right? That's the focal point of the constellations, right? This doesn't move, right? All the stars just circle around it, which lets you know what? That we're stationary.
You're stationary.
Right?
And you know what, y'all, and this destroys the whole round earth theory. Because think about it. I mean, you saw how the stars were rotating. And anybody, I used to be a part of an astronomy club, and I used to see how that it would rotate, and it would always blow my mind. And if the earth was round like they said it was, and if the earth was going around everything else, I guarantee you it wouldn't look like what it looks like when you see the circles moving around. The heathens have lied to us so much, y'all. They got us believing everything. They got us believing that they had our people believing that they went to the moon. Now they're about to fake a mission to Mars and all that kind of stuff.
Now, as you see right here, just just another mind boggler. As you see, where it spins around and it doesn't move, right? If you were to believe in the heathen, and they got you believing that you're spinning around in outer space, spinning on a circle. I'm spinning on a ball, right? And then on top of that, you're spinning around the sun, and then you're spinning around in the Milky Way galaxy. It'll virtually be impossible, for you to constantly do a rotation like that every day. You know what I'm saying? You have to literally be stationary and in one spot in order for you to see something like that occur over and over again without deviation.
And how they say the sun is 90 million miles away, and the sun is like millions of times bigger than the earth. These people are on crack. Literally.
Right. So, just as Brother Daniel was had read in the scriptures there, as we see, it says, just as the constellations are set and fixed in their respective rotations, so are the feast days. The rotations of the sun brings in the new year on the spring equinox. Like Brother Daniel was saying earlier, the beginning of the year is always a springtime, right? And the equal amount of sunlight and night, right? Daylight and nighttime. All right. Go ahead, Brother Daniel.
Yeah. So listen here. Bottom line is that you all have the precepts, and just dive into it, y'all. Dive into it. I have this calendar on my on my gadgets. I look at this calendar every day. Like every day, I'm looking at this calendar, and just going back over it and everything, because it's such a beautiful thing, And I just wish our people would see it. But we said this lesson will be short, but we'll take a few questions only concerning the calendar that we went over. So does anybody have any questions that they want to present or ask concerning this calendar?
And while he's waiting on questions, we do have one feast day, like I would like to repeat again, which is the new moon, and that is
yes.
That's going to be the first sliver. Yep. And that's going to be from sunset to sunset on Sunday, right? It'll be May 1st on the heathen day. It'll be the night of May 1st, dealing with the heathen days, right? And then it'll roll into Monday. So make sure you call and schedule your day off for Monday. All right, on May 2nd, you don't need to be working. All right, make sure you call in ahead of time. If you need to tell them you need to be sick, or you gotta or if you done like I've done, when I got my job, when I got my employment, I always, I tell them straight up off the top, here's the calendar. I'm I practice, I'm an Israelite. I just straight up tell them, and I was like, and I follow the laws of God. And if you can't respect it, then I'm sorry, I can't work here. And so far, by the grace of the Most High, I've never been denied a job for anything I've applied for when I've set those strict rules. So I never work on the Shabbat. I don't work on any holy days or anything like that. The heathens, they don't have a problem with me keeping the commandments. And I think that everybody should pray and to aspire to the same thing as well.
Yeah.
You know, the Most High will bless you.
Yep. And don't forget about the weekly Shabbats too.
Right.
The weekly Shabbats. And again, when you say at the end, don't get confused by that. That's just the, towards the end of the month, we always put that on there, weekly Shabbat, to let you know that it's always from sunset to sunset.
And
everything. But our next feast day will be it will be Pentecost, which falls on the Shabbat sunset, Saturday, so which is Saturday sunset, and that'll be our next feast. So the next time we'll do our lesson, we're doing a lesson on the third month.
That's right.
First day of the third month, and we'll be covering that as well too. And so far, I don't see any questions. Let me look here.
No, there's for me. It's pretty nothing. Like we don't have anything outstanding ever in the month of Ziph.
Yeah.
It's just going to be like this every year. It's always going to be.
But other lessons we do on each month. So some less like month 7 is going to be a big one because we have a lot of our feast days. You have to blow up the trumpets, and then you have the day of
Sukkot.
The day Sukkot, and then we have our fasting one as well too, Day of Atonement.
Yes.
So we have,
and then we'll be able to explain to you guys how we got all the days. We'll go scripture by scripture. And to make sure everybody's counting with us. So all the believers in Hamashiach and the Most High, they'll get clarity. We just want to make sure that everything we do is transparent to y'all. Like we don't want to just give you some stuff and then expect you guys to follow it. That's wicked as hell. That's wicked as hell.
And that was one of my biggest pet peeves. I said, can't do a calendar unless we really, really, really show the precepts and how we got it.
That's right.
Most folks don't do that. And then you got people who are selling the calendars, don't even have the right dates.
Yeah, and that's we want the whole purpose of this calendar is so we can get on one accord and following the feast days correctly. Following the feast days correctly. Being righteous. And being righteous in the eyes of the Most High. We don't do this for any kind of. Nope. It's not for any kind of gain. It's just for us to try to get right so we can get the hell up out of here.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Because we're all still learning.
So we're going to be transparent as possible. Every new month, it's nearing the first day. It's nearing to the end of the first day, almost the beginning of the second day of Ziph. But every month, right on the first day of the month, we're going to give you a lesson, right? And we're going to be, feel free to ask questions of any day, any feast day, any holy day that we have within that month, and we're going to be transparent as possible, so you guys can see exactly how we did it. So that way, you can also share it with your buddies. Anybody else in the truth, any other brothers and sisters, you can share with them.
And we'll do it, and we'll do a new moon lesson on the 1st of May at sunset. So that's going to be on a Sunday. First, they did I'll be off that second. So sundown Sunday on the 13th day of the second month, we'll do a new moon lesson because it's always good to reiterate that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, matter of fact, that would be a good breakdown.
Yeah, it'll be a short lesson. We'll just reiterate. We'll prove from the scriptures that it is indeed the full sliver and not the full moon.
Or not the empty black moon.
Yeah,
that's nothing new about it.
And then we'll show you how the moons bring in the seasons and all that kind of stuff. It'll be fun, So just tuning in. I'll mark it on the calendar, everything, and
and also like we said, stay tuned for the Chronicles of Judges. This is going to be exciting lessons for you guys. We're going to show you some. Man, I'm telling you, so y'all might want to brush up on the Book of Judges, yourself, right? Because we're gonna show you some good things. We're gonna start out with Samson, and then we're gonna go from there.
We're gonna start, and so we're gonna we'll probably break it down in maybe three to four lessons, depending on how much we can cover. So that'll be great. So we have our hands full, and always room to grow in the Word. So hey, prayerfully, you all are edified, you all understand and everything. And again, you have our emails if you have any questions or anything like that, and if you're still not sure, you're confused, hey, just hit us up on email. And we're glad.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I'm glad to assist you in everything. So
Yohanari Israel, I'm not sure if I got that link, but if just try to send it again. I just checked my email. I didn't think I saw it. And Khan, Shalom, Ak. You know, Shalom, brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? I hope y'all having a blessed first day of the month. Right? Let's get our things in order.
Or second day of the month.
Well, yeah, almost the second day of the month. It will probably be a second day of the month for some people with their sorry sundown.
Yep.
Right. And so, you know, you guys write down some thoughts, you know, some goals that you want to set for the month. Right. We don't have any feast days or anything like that. So just concentrate on the things that you want to, you know, celebrate for the Most High, you know, and how He's blessed you. All right. So let's, you know, let's get it in. Let's get these commandments together, and let's go hard this month for the Most High.
There we go.
God.
Yep.
All
right.
That's
Shalom, and stay strong.
That's right. Shalom, Israel.
Wow.